STAR approach in dealing with the leadership question. STAR, which means situation, task, action, and result. It helped me to articulate my leadership point well. Like I pointed out the situation that was there before my intervention, then the task that I put in place in order to act on the situation or the problem or challenge, then the actual action, what I did to deal with that situation or challenge, and then the results.
My leadership questions were a bit tricky, as in the sense that they didn't really ask me exactly or directly what how I would want, how as a leader I am, how do I come across as a leader. They were a bit tricky, as in the sense that I had to sort of pick the pieces out. For example, they asked me about one example that I sort of gave out in my application, where I was talking about how I was doing a project in Zubamaramba from working on small grains and stuff. So they would pick each and every part that I sort of talked about how I dealt with communities and politics in the communities. Then they said, can you tell us about a situation where you dealt with a problem, or where you sort of faced resistance and then you dealt with that situation effectively. So what I can simply say is they will try by all means to bring questions in a very different way, but you have to know exactly what you wrote in your application. Pick out the exact examples that you use in your application to show out your leadership examples. If you are someone who's initiative, if you are someone who's a good problem solver, pick those examples out. They will come out well. And probably adding out to the STAR approach that has been talked about, you do not just choose the STAR approach alone. There's someone advised me that you go further, give them this. After the STAR approach, put the L at the end for learning, because each and every situation that you face, you've got lessons that comes out of those situations, and from those lessons you learn, and so that you become a better version of yourself in the next projects or anything that you'll be doing. So as a young leader, what I simply say to them was like, you know what, I've learned from each and every situation of these, and they've sort of modified me and actually edified me to become a better leader. So the leadership person will come in all different kinds of form, but just stay resolute with the things that you wrote in your application, and also try not to go way overboard by giving examples that were not really part of, or things that were not really part of your application. They'll sort of discredit you about along those lines if you try to give out a lot of information that wasn't in the application. You might at the same time end up disturbing the coherence of your story.
What you have to be is just to be yourself. Don't try to exaggerate leadership experiences which you didn't do in life. Those people who are interviewing you would realize that this person is lying or else is trying to impress us. So once you show that picture that you're trying to impress them and it's not real, you are basically marking yourself out of the competition. So basically go for it with those simple examples you put in your essays. They are okay the way they are, due to the fact that it's the ones which have taken you to this point of the interview.
If you have specific examples, explain them well how you did. If you have numbers, give the numbers. Like if you are in leadership of maybe 20 people, give those numbers. If you have names, state names. It makes it seem real. Well, not seem real, but because it should be real, so it brings it to life. So where you have numbers, give numbers. Where you have names, give names, and be specific with your leadership examples.
I explained and stick to the answers that I had given in my essays. From the background of having worked with rural communities, I had taken a good number of initiatives, leadership initiatives, and during the interview, I managed to explain how I came up with the initiatives, how I faced resistance, and how I managed to overcome the resistance by persuading people surrounding me and the people involved to take part for the benefit of the community.
My leadership experiences were not that spectacular. It's not like I went for a conference or anything great. I was staying in a really raw part of Zimbabwe at that point. And so I did a few things that were actually effecting a change in the community that I was staying. So it doesn't have to be something that's spectacular. You don't even have to have certificates for some of the things, but as long as it's an experience that you have managed to impact someone's life or your community in it, I think it's still valid.
Avoid lying as much as you can, because if you lie, it will be hard to be consistent with what you've said. So when you're saying something that you've done or something that's real, it's easy for you to keep up the consistency. So for me, what I did is, like everyone has said, I expanded the stories that I had written in my essays, because the essay is limited and it's hard to really explain what was on the ground. So for me, that is what I did. I expanded the story that I had put in my essay, and I also mentioned the issue of sustainability and community involvement, because to me, like, I had to explain what I understood leadership was, and to me it included the issue of sustainability. When I'm not in that community, does it mean that what I have impacted in that community goes with me, or it still stays? So that is how I did my leadership question.
In addition to what everybody said, don't try to be Nelson Mandela, Barack Obama, or Mahatma Gandhi. Just be yourself. If you have helped one person, that's a huge impact. Just tell them that I've helped one person. That's the kind of change and the leadership that I want to see in people.
Well, in terms of networking, the question might be asked in different forms, but what I made sure I did was to ensure that I tell them the levels of networking, individuals or organizations that I've networked with, and forms of networking, such as the use of social media, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Facebook.
For me, they didn't ask me about my past networking experience, even though I had written about that in my essays, but they asked me about how I plan on networking when I come to the UK. So you might as well want to have a plan for how you want to network when you get to the UK, like which networking opportunities do you want to make use of when you're in the UK.
How you did that, like my friend elaborated before, be very precise when giving exactly how you network with the people, how you maintain the relationship with the people that you have. I still remember in my example, I was telling them that I was a recipient of a Delta Bursary scholarship in my undergrad, and they still invite me to talk to whenever they've got new students coming in, new scholarship recipients. That alone showed how much I've sort of maintained the relationship that I have with them in a very good way. So it's important that when you're talking about the networking skills or the networking person, try by all means to show them how you sort of build those networks and how you're maintaining them each and every day. If you meet here and there for tea, if you meet here and there to discuss important questions, try and all show that, because those are the same skills that you're going to have to apply when you come here. You're going to meet a lot of different people from different backgrounds, and you need those simple networking skills to be able to communicate with the other party and actually come up with something very meaningful. So yeah, make sure you do a very thorough work on your networking skills.
I tried to link my networking experiences with how it benefited me, the community that I was serving in, and my organization as well. So that's all about it. You don't have to bring out huge examples like you invented the wheel or something like that, but you need to be simple and straightforward, but show how it helped you, how it helped the people that are around you, and how it helped your work and yourself as a person.
I was also asked about my plans for networking in the future, and I think you have to start thinking about the kind of relationships you want to build when you have the scholarship, the kind of organizations you want to be linked with. You can also look at the schools that you've applied to, some of the societies and organizations that they are partnered with, and see how you can build relationships with those organizations.
Okay. I think adding on to that is when giving your networking experiences, try by all means not only to show that you did something on your own. If you did something with others, try to bring out all those people, all those elements, all those participants in that network, and also how that network benefited from that networking experience, and at the same time, how did that networking worked to your advantage? I think to your advantage and also to those other people's advantage. You should not be a person whereby you always expect to benefit from a network, but you should benefit other people from that network. And it's very important to show that you're a person who can do things to benefit other people, not you only.
The first thing is to understand what networking is. When you understand what networking is, you can answer the networking question. And it's one of the most tricky questions because they ask it differently. Mine was, what do you understand by networking, and how are you going to use your networking skills to achieve your future career goals? So, number one, you should listen carefully. Otherwise, you can answer the first part and then leave the second part. So you should listen carefully and then tell them what you understand by networking, and then show them how you're going to use your networking skills. So in terms of networking, you need to show them that you can create or build relationships, short-term or long-term relationships easily, which is very, very important. So my advice is to listen carefully and then answer according to what they've asked.
Obviously have your career plan, lay it out as it is, and try to give timelines. I found that it helped me to give them my 5-year goals, my 10-year goals, and I really laid out when I go to the UK, I'm going there to study this course because I want to learn these skills, and when I get back, this is how I want to progress with the skills that I will have learned, and try to show them the difference that the scholarship is going to make in your career, because they're not just trying to give the scholarship to someone who can do without it, but they're trying to see, will it have an impact on your career? So try to bring that out and bring out your plan with maybe specific timelines as much as you can. It obviously might not go like that after you get the scholarship, but at least that's your plan. Show it to them, make it make sense.
It's good to have a timeline, specific timelines, and during those timelines, it's good also to mention the impact you expect to make within those timelines. It is good to dream, to have ambitions, but it is also equally important to stay close to the reality. Do not be over ambitious. You might kill your dreams, you might kill your journey right there. Stay close to the reality in your career plan.
One of the most important questions, they want to see how you're going to plow back to the community after your studies. So you need to be realistic, as what Maurice has said. Be ambitious, but don't be over ambitious. And also, you should know that the people, the interview panel, they know exactly what is happening in your country. So don't try to do more than what is happening in your country. For example, you say, I want to be the next tech guru in a country that is on its knees. You need to be realistic. Your growth should be a bit gradual. Show them step by step how we are going to be the next Mark Zuckerberg. So don't just say, when I come back, I want to be the greatest entrepreneur. No. You just need to show them that I'm going to start with a small shop selling 2 things, then I'll grow from selling 2 things to selling 10 things, then the next I'm going to be the next Warren Buffett. So you need to show gradual growth to your career goals.
Career plan is very important, but what is important in career plan is that you have to link it with all other parts, or else all other questions, the other 3 questions, which is the networking, the leadership, and also your studies. Why I'm saying so is because you cannot put forward that you want to, let's say you want to be an entrepreneur when you come back, but in your courses or else in your networking skills, you indicated that you want to be someone who is in the financial sector. Let's say you want to be in the banking sector as a worker in the banking sector. It becomes not realistic, and at the same time they are not correlated So you have to link up all your things. You should produce a theme out of it, so that when you're talking, it will be easier for them, for the interviewers or else for the panel to follow where you are going. At times it becomes very easy for them. At times they can jump that part if they find that you have answered it in a logical manner coming from or where you're coming. And also what I discovered about career plan is whenever presenting your career plan, just like what George has said, don't be over ambitious. Just bring out what you think you can do, and also in bringing that, don't bring in new things. Just bring out what you wrote in your essays. Is very important. They selected you to the interview. Why? Because they believed in you, what you have written in your essays. So just take that one and lay it out in a way which is understandable, or else you need just to add on to what you have said in your essays.
Career plan, part of it is what ties the whole application together. So now you get to explain how the skills that you've learned and all the plans that you have for your networking, the plans that you have for your leadership are going to come together to help you advance your career in the coming years. So make sure that you tie everything together at the end, and make sure that you engage every other aspect into that career plan.
I think the career plan is like the most important part of the interview process, or at least I sort of realized that in my interview, because 60% of my time in the interview room was asked around my career plan and exactly how I want to sort of do things when I come back home. Like most of my colleagues have already said, make sure you've got a plan for when you land back home for the next 10 years, I think. They will try by all means to sort of understand and make sure that you've got something very clear. They will try to ask the smallest details that you can ask. As I remember in my interview, they sort of asked exactly how do I want to do things step by step, because I told them I want to work with communities from exactly how I was working with them before that. I was more into technical area, and I want to incorporate the communities in my projects and everything. So it's very important that you also know what are the projects that are happening in your country that are in relation to what the UK government is doing in your country, and make sure you tailor that in your application, or I'm pretty sure by now you tailored it in, but make sure you sort of link it up to how you're planning to then work with them in the future. So be realistic, like what they said. Also try by all means to be very much specific to detail. Have a clear laid out plan. Don't jump stages. Don't try to sell unrealistic dreams. Of course, as much as you are selling nice dreams, be very clear about it. Try by all means to be very, and also show. I think that is also the other part where you're supposed to show passion for what you really want to do, because I'm pretty sure those guys can actually figure out whether this person is lying or is just trying to get over this thing or what. Show some passion in the things that you are talking about. Show exactly how you implement it at home. Other than that, it's just important to be very much realistic to things that you said in your application. Nothing fancy. Don't try to make it complicated or anything. Be direct, yeah.
Me, I believe the whole idea of Chevening is giving back. So when you talk about your career plan, it's supposed to be how you're expecting to mold your career plan, but at the same time, how is your career plan going to be giving back to the community? So when you talk about your career plan, try to include information on how it's going to develop you as a person and how it's going to help you give back to the community when you are planning on a career plan. And for example, my question was, what's your career plan in the next 5 years? And I had a follow-up question from what I had said, and the follow-up question was like, how are you going to do this in the current economic situation of the country? So you also need to prepare for follow-up questions on what you are going to talk about. So you need to be prepared in case you have a follow-up plan. So you really need to know what your plan is, where you want to go, and how you're going to do it. Because you have follow-up questions being thrown at you.
What I can simply say is some parting remarks is you guys just be relaxed. I still remember I was panicking a lot, like a few days before the interview. Just be chill. It's gonna be more like a conversation, and it will be very much easier as well if you just approach it as a conversation as well, because those guys are really friendly. There won't be any like trying to intimidate you or anything. So just get there, feel free, relax, and make sure you give yourself time to relax, and you're actually allowed to sort of say, I'm going to take a minute or so to think or something, because you don't want to pressure yourself and end up saying things that are not necessary, or end up just busting up and saying something very unnecessary in the interview room. Try by all means to take your time, chill, enjoy the environment. You'll love it, and I'm pretty sure when you're chilled you have more points coming, like flowing. Yeah. Wish you all the best, guys. See you when you come to the UK. We are waiting for you. For those who are coming to Leeds, we will definitely link up with this Zimbabwean nice team and some of the scholars who are part of the video. We love you.
All the best.